Good evening. I'd like to call this Brunswick City Commission regular scheduled commission meeting to order for Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. If we could all please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Our invocation will be given by our own pastor, Craig Campbell from Zion Baptist Church. We thank him for his longtime leadership within the community and the leadership he's provided my family and other families throughout the community. So thank you for being with us, Pastor.
Thank you. Good evening. Let us bow our heads in a word of prayer. Father God, we invite you tonight to this city commission meeting, dear God. God, we thank you for all that you've done and all that you will continue to do. And Lord, I pray for our commission, dear God, and those who work side by side with them, dear God, that they will continue to lead with integrity and character. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Like that, we have a long agenda, so we will jump right into it and get to moving. We will move on the approval of the agenda and the adoption of the March 4th, 2026 regular scheduled meeting agenda. Is there any additions or subtractions? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the March the 4th, 2026 regular scheduled meeting agenda.
Hearing a first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. We will now move on to public comment. City Clerk Atkins.
Jack Daniel.
Good evening.
My name is Jack Daniel of 504 and 502 Norwich Street, which we lovingly call the Norwich Street Arts District until we get together and make the other one happen. So I got to preface this by saying thank you to everyone involved in the homestead process. I know it was a lot of work, and I want to thank not just you here, but everybody involved. It's fantastic. I love the fact that it really helps the long-term and elderly residents of our community. If I ever turn old, I'll probably appreciate it even more. And I don't want this to be seen as criticism of the tax department. I believe they're currently overwhelmed. So I'd like to bring something to your attention at this level, so maybe you can help them make it easier for both the citizens trying to get their homestead, and so they don't have to tell the same story over and over and over again. So very quickly, it seems like it almost always goes really simply if you have a pretty straightforward life. The one scenario that I've heard both online and in person, as a matter of fact, the 2 times I stopped at the tax office, they were both times explaining to a surviving spouse what they had to do to prove that it had been in the family for the period, although probably in one partner's name. And then through survivorship, they end up with it. And now I know there's a process because they've explained it, what deeds are required and whether you need death certificate or estate things or whatever. It's a common situation. And, we can find edge cases, but basically, a lot of times people own a house, somebody joins their life, and then they have to sort it out. So that one's out there. And I would really like you to do that before I do something stupid and Wendy has to deal with that. It's worth noting that when you do a homestead at the county, my house, for example, is in my name because I've owned it since before we met. I was required to put her on it because the county wants that little head start to make it easier for survivors. So that's one scenario. The other one, mine's an extreme case, but actually turns out to not to be a problem, is that it requires we attest that the date of the deed is the date of primary residency. And that's attest and notarize. And so somebody took it far enough online to say, I really don't want to perjure myself. But, you know, realistically, the date of the deed is never the date you move in. You're waiting for the moving company, you're waiting for your buddies in a pickup truck, restoration, repairs, things to move in. But generally, it's close enough. My case, my wife and I bought in 2015. After she passed, Brunswick became my primary residence in 2017. Brunswick was no longer my primary residence in 2019, became my primary residence again in 2021. Restated deed to take my late wife off, put it in my trust name. So there are some of us that have that sort of thing, and they didn't really have an answer off the top of their head. Turns out that the restatement of deed and mine lined up close enough that it's not going to flip over a year. But those are the kind of things that would be great to just have it on the website. And I understand some people aren't going to read it. But if there was a little handout and on the website, it would make it easier both for the tax folks and for us. That's it. I just, an idea that, hey, this could be, you guys did a ton of work and not everybody's as appreciative as they should be. And maybe if we make it easier for them, they will be. So with that, I'll sit down.
Thank you so
Unless-
much.
Unless you got questions.
And we will make sure we circle back with those suggestions and let you know how we're kind of
Yeah,
implementing
cool.
those. Thank you. City Clerk?
Mayor, that concludes public comment.
Okay, wonderful. With that, we will move on to our public hearing, new and provisional alcohol licenses. We will call up our deputy.
Good evening. All right. We have 4 businesses here. First one is Newcastle Wine. They are already licensed at their current location. They are moving to 1514 Newcastle, which used to be, I think, Pam Pam Cakes. So they're moving to a different location, giving them a little more room. Brandon and Nicholas Boudreau, they are here with us. You guys come up. And if you have any questions or for us or me.
Deputy I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Did you say, what's the business address?
It's on here. I do apologize. It's a typo as 114, but it's 1514.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
15. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hello, thanks for
How you
having us.
guys doing?
Great.
Thank you all so much. I know you guys have been business owners downtown for a little bit now, and I think you're moving, obviously, the same business model to a different location, but still in the downtown district. And so just want to say thank you for opening up new business opportunities and having new customers visit the downtown corridor. With that, we'll open it up for comments and questions from the commission. Hearing none. We will now open it. If you guys step right here to your left, we will now open it for public comment. One day I'm going to get the Jeopardy music, but I don't have it today. So I'm just going to count to 20 in my head. So if there's anybody that wants to speak, please come up. And if there's anyone else, feel free to line up. Seeing no one, we will close the public comment period for Newcastle Wine. With that being done, I will open it. If there are no additional comments or questions from the commission, we will open it for a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve the retail wine, specialty wine shop and off-premise catering for Newcastle Wine Merchant located at 1514 Newcastle Street.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and a second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you all so much.
Next, we have Mr. David Mitchell. He will be the manager for Aldi store number 190. He is here, will be located at 1919 Glen Ave, Suite 100, which is the old Winn-Dixie.
Thank
And
you.
they will be for retail beer and wine. I'm sorry.
Wonderful. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Mitchell.
Good afternoon.
Wonderful. Since this is your first time before us, we obviously know you all are a grocery store and all of those things, but if you could just talk to us about obviously your retail space and your want to sell retail beer and wine.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are opening up another location here in Brunswick at the 1919 Glen Avenue, Space 100. All of our Aldi locations, we sell beer and alcohol within. It is a very small selection of our own labeled beer and wine, sorry. It takes up approximately, I would say, 35 square feet of the store. All of our employees are thoroughly trained on the alcohol selling processes. We have a good training process in place that everyone follows. But that's
Wonderful. Questions or comments from the commission?
What's your opening date?
we are currently scheduled to open on April 2nd.
Any additional comments or questions?
And I'm just making sure, I was just clarifying in the state of Georgia, because I know that you have to be 18 to work at the location, right? So
Correct.
that's all clear when it comes to
Correct.
an employee selling.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of our employees are 18 years or older. So that follows that. We do not hire under 18.
Okay.
And this will be for Sunday sales as well?
Well, yes, they're retail.
Okay.
What would be your hours of operation?
We are 9 to 8 every day.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none. You could step to your left, please. We will open it for public comment. So the public comment space is now open.
Good evening.
Good
We just
evening.
wanted to, I'm Rhonda Waller, Vice Chair of the Urbana Perry Park MPA, and just wanted to confirm that Mr. Mitchell did come to our most recent meeting. The membership voted, and we voted to approve with reservation, the same reservation that we have whenever there is a beer, wine, liquor store being considered within our NPA, that we would love to see other businesses. However, we're excited to see Aldi finally. Won't be a food desert any longer. So we just wanted to confirm, Mike is here with me, to confirm that he did participate in our NPA meeting, and we gave our blessing with reservation.
Thank you, Dr. Waller.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You wanna?
No. Thank you. Any additional comments? Hearing none, you can come back to the mic for us. I want to say this a little bit in regards to the alcohol license. In the beginning, when the decision was made for you all to, I think, buy Southeastern Grocers, and our Winn-Dixie was transitioned to an Aldi. I think our city manager reached out to you all as a company. I think several commissioners reached out to you all as a company, to no response, or to a truncated response that clearly came from a legal department that was 2 sentences, which I don't consider a response. The reservation that we have from our MPA and Dr. Waller and others is that if we see some kind of issue, are we communicating with a company that is actually committed to the community, but also committed to furthering whatever conversations a community may need to have, right, if you all call that community home. So that's number one important for me to just say that openly and to
Understood.
kind of let you guys know that, and hopefully from your position as a manager, that will be moved up the chain, that we want some kind of communication on a whole host of issues, and maybe the same kind of communication that we did have at Winn-Dixie when they were in that spot. The second thing that I would just like to say openly, and obviously these two issues are not related but slightly adjacent to one another. We've had several conversations, at least amongst community members, about what it would mean for Aldi to at least start to think about and have conversations internally to their company about what accepting SNAP benefits would look like. For us as a community, and especially where this grocery store would be placed, I think there is at least a percentage of individuals who use those benefits. And we understand that you all are a different model and also built out of a different country. So
Right.
there's a lot of different questions that need to be answered. But if Brunswick can be a model of at least starting that conversation, we would like to do so. So
Completely agree.
thank you for being here. With that, any additional questions or comments?
I just had one. Just kind of piggybacking off of what you said. Who would be the contact person that if the city manager or someone else from the administrative staff needs to address immediately or have some type of immediacy and urgency to a phone call? Who would be that person?
Personally, I would say myself or our district manager, Brittany Klaus.
Okay, so we can get that information. Okay, you have the his information and the district person's information? Okay, we want to have those contact information. Thank you.
I have a, Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
is it selected areas who cannot receive EBT SNAP benefits?
So this area, we do accept EBT. So there's no issue with that whatsoever.
Okay.
The only thing that we are not currently accepting is going to be like the Humana and Aetna, the insurance cards.
The U cards?
Right.
Okay. So
But-
will you be accepting WIC?
WIC, we do not at
Okay.
the moment.
Okay. So that's the part you address. Okay, thank you very much.
Do you have any foreseeable, or see in the near future that you would go to accepting Humana? Have you addressed like the population's need or who has or carries that? So that's in your,
It's a discussion that we are currently having with our offices. So I do also manage the current location that we have on 341 Venture Drive. So I am aware that we do have a lot of customers coming
Okay.
in with that. So those are conversations being had at the moment.
okay, because I know that's usually, and I don't want to classify stuff or misclassify that, because we are considered like a retirement area. I know that's one of those benefits that's usually attached to retirees. So that's why I asked,
Yeah.
have you assessed it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, and thank you for that clarity, Commissioner Atkins Williams. Any additional questions or comments? Here and now, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the retail sales of beer and wine for Aldi store number 190 at 1919 Glen Avenue, Suite 100.
Here in the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Here in the first and the second, all those in favor show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you.
Next, we have Takal Restaurant. The owner is Neri Molina and Miss Anna at 2809 Glen Avenue, which was previously Cinco de Mayo. And they have applied for an on-premise consumption of beer, wine, and liquor. And they are here today.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you all for being with us. If you could just describe a little bit of your restaurant and what you'll be doing with the on-premise consumption of beer, wine, and liquor, your hours, all of those kinds of things.
Okay. So we have Tikal Restaurant is the name, is taking place of Cinco de Mayo. We are gonna do hours of 11 to 9 p.m. every day. We are also gonna try to do or keep as part of the menu that it was, and we're gonna keep doing with the Hispanic version, and we're gonna add some additions to that menu. We're looking to do some like a specials, try to bring in different aspects of the community and, the area to make it more familiar. And I don't know if you have drove by, we are basically doing a new looking. It was a little, dark. And now it's pretty much nice and pretty. Mr. Molina has been working really hard on all the landscape, and he keeps doing all that kind of stuff to improve it and actually make it a better view, because East Glen Avenue and is one of the heaviest traffic on that way, especially towards the island. I mean San Simon's and Jackal Island.
Thank you so much. Questions and comments from the commission?
Just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering what was going on. Because I used to love the rice, so I was wondering what was going on out there. So I'm glad to know what's going
Yes,
on.
ma'am.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Any other questions or comments? With that being said, thank you. If you could just take a step to your left, and we will open it for public comment.
Deputy Marshal, I remember at Goodyear.
Goodyear,
in PA.
yeah.
Thank you, I'm sorry. They attended.
And with that, we will close public comment. You guys can step back up. Are there any additional questions or comments from the commission? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to approve Tick Hall Restaurant of 2809 Glen Avenue for on-premises consumption of beer, wine, and liquor.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and second, all those in favor show by sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Lastly, we have Mr. Joe Casio, I believe made that right, and Meredith Grill for La Playa Park, which will be located at 1617 Norwich Street. This will be a food truck park, and they will have on-premise consumption of beer, wine, and liquor. Meredith, if you.
Hey guys, I'm Meredith Grill. Joe Casio wasn't able to make it today, but
Wonderful. Well, we know that you all have been working on Norwich and bringing some life to that area, making sure you grow that area. So we appreciate the work you all have put in. If you could just tell us a little bit about your business, your timing that you'll be selling, how do you all kind of control the sale of that alcohol with the large space and different things of that nature?
yes. So we are an indoor-outdoor event venue, about 7,000 square feet. It's a 4-bay old garage that we've transformed the building itself to be the bar area. And the property works as a contained circle. You walk in, you start a tab, you can go to the bar, you can go to any food trucks. We are also planning to have a local market, kind of like a first Friday every day. We will be open from Thursdays through Mondays from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. for food. And then on the days, we'll be open till 2 a.m. for like Fridays and Saturdays, and then the respective hours for Sundays to serve on Sundays. We plan to be open May 15th.
Just in time for summer. Right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Questions or comments from the commission?
Okay. Is this kind of sort of like Starling Yard in Savannah?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so when you come in, I know they check IDs,
Mhm.
right? And then you
Yes.
get a band,
Yes.
and then there's the bar area and then the food truck area.
Yes. So when you walk in, you can't enter without starting a tab or showing your identity pretty much. And then from there, you can walk however you'd like to around the property. And when you leave, you close out your tab all at once.
And I just wanted to also say thank you so much for having a vision for North Street, because you have to start somewhere. So hopefully it'll
Yes.
go on north. But I think this is a good opportunity. So thank you for the vision, and that's what we need. Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments?
Miss-
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to, and I'm gonna piggyback on Commissioner Roll as thank you, because I can remember in 2024 when you all came before us about starting up this business, and I'm glad, even though it's been 18 months later, but it's here. I'm trying to visualize where the truck's gonna fit, because I noticed since you all building up front, there's one entrance, or there's a back entrance for the trucks, food trucks to come in and out? or-
No, so we actually own 2 trucks and we have a third person that we're partnering with to be on premise at all times. So we will always have those 3 trucks stationary. They won't be coming in and out, and we are their commissary-based kitchen that they are operating under our umbrella. And we do have room. So when you see that gate from the front, it's actually, people have been saying it's very visually tricky to see how much space there actually is in the back, but there's a big yard, a big oak tree in the back, lots of space. And then, so we actually built that gate to move to the side so we can fit 1 to 2 rotating local trucks in addition to our 3 trucks based on volume.
And how would you all check IDs, or do you have a system that you scan IDs, or is it exactly how that's set up?
So we set up kind of a service window in the front that people can walk up to before even entering the building, and they will talk to a host or a greeter who will have that POS system and will be checking IDs before they enter.
Is there a fee?
No fee unless it's like some type of ticketed event, which we haven't even gotten to plan anything like that yet. But no fee to enter, just a way to kind of start your tab. And you can enter without buying anything. You just got to go through the process.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll stay with this. And with that, we will open it up for public comment.
As I was sitting here, thinking about the hours of operation on Friday and Saturday nights to 2 a.m., what type of security will take place during those hours?
We would see how it goes when we start if that's needed, but we do have a security system that we will be putting in place with cameras, checking all perimeters of the property. I've gotten to know a lot of the local law enforcement pretty well, and they're really fast at responding. And if I need additional security, I will definitely look into that.
Additional public comment.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Commission. My name is Casey McCleary. I am a member of the leadership team for the Midtown MPA. Ms. Grill came and introduced herself and the business maybe in February, January. Yeah, January. And then she came again this month to make sure, or February, to make sure that she got the consent or that we were in agreement, and we were. She gave all the information, and we're hoping that this will be a definite growth point for the neighborhood.
I do want to take a moment to thank our MPA leaders for not only being here tonight, but always staying engaged. And I also want to thank our business owners for starting to understand that we want, each person who comes into our community to interact and connect and grow with the community that they are coming into. So we appreciate you all for doing that as well. Any other public comment? Seeing none, we will close public comment. And if is there any additional questions or comments from the commission?
I have one, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
So the question that came from Pastor Campbell regarding security, I want it to be definitively understood. We are pro-business, but I want it to also be understood that our police department is not to be used as a person's or business's security team. We want that understood. If something happens, we need to know that you have security of your own in place so that if something is happening outside of your area or within the community that does not involve your location, that our officers are where they need to be in those areas and not having to attend or to supplement your security team. I want that to be understood. It's not just your business, but it's any business. That is not the reasoning behind the police, the BPD, the Brunswick Police Department. Every business has their own responsibility to make sure that you have adequate security.
Any additional questions or comments? Quick question for me. What hours will you be selling alcohol until 2 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
For Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, I think it ends at 11:30. Whatever the rules are, we'll follow them.
And I guess the question I have, a couple other questions. Number one, if a food truck comes in and they already have, or this may be a question for my deputy or attorney, if a food truck comes in and they already have a license to sell, is that, so on their premises, they rely on the alcohol license of where they're selling? Not, I know they aren't selling, they shouldn't be selling is what I'm getting at. When they come, they're not able to use that license, right?
I don't believe food trucks can be licensed at all in the state of Georgia to sell alcohol.
Even with their even with the catering license, that's what I'm just imagining.
No, they cannot sell.
Okay,
No.
got it.
I think in Starland Yard, you buy from like the centralized bar area, which I think is the same, which is the model here is going after that same type of situation.
Sure. I know we've done some catering license for, not trying to pick on them, but somebody like Bubba's. And I don't know if Bubba's decided to be a partner. Are
Right.
they allowed to sell with their
No.
catering license on their premises?
No.
Okay, perfect.
And I personally wouldn't want any competition.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to, the other question that I have is, I understand Pastor Campbell's concern, and his church is also in that area.
Yes.
2 a.m. I think, and I could be guessing, would be new for the city of Brunswick.
Okay, yeah.
Well, right. And I'm just wondering, let me just ask out of my own ignorance, what other places are selling to around this time? And do those places naturally have security measures? I know when there was a certain bar that moved here from the county, we asked of them to have, security measures in place and thoughts in place. And I'm just trying to figure out how that lines up.
Security
Mhm.
for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Okay. And just for my own edification, do we know around what time they start to have security, and then is that security somehow mandated through our approval, or, because I know we had that conversation, I don't know if we tied it to the approval, I'm just trying to figure it out. Uh-huh.
hire skilled off-duty officers to secure along with his security.
Okay.
So he has police out there, off-duty police officers working as security as well as his own security he hired.
And then my last question, and you could tell me this is totally not possible, Brian. Is it possible to put inside of the approval that we ask for security from midnight to 2 a.m. or is that possible to put in here? If not, I just am trying to wrap my head around possibilities.
I would need to look into that in the ordinance. I think that it is a condition you can place on licenses, yes. I think typically it would be done after an event that would require an action by the commission. I think in the instance that you're talking about, that particular location or business had issues in the past, and when it moved into the city,
For sure.
that was why the commission took it into
Right.
consideration and placed those security measures on.
Gotcha. Okay. I asked those questions not because I want to do that, but I do want to understand where we are as a commission because that would be new for Norwich Street in that area. 2 a.m. would, I think, be new for that area. So I say all of those things to say, I think we would love for you to very early on start thinking about what your security protocol looks like.
Yes.
And if you are having those thoughts and you want to have a further conversation about how we can work together on that, then make sure you come back, have a conversation with somebody so we can know what that is in that area.
Yes.
Perfect. With that, if there are no other questions or comments, I will open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion that we approve the on-premise consumption of beer, wine, and liquor for La Playa Park with the understanding upon which you have stated.
Perfect. With that as a first, do we have a second? Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by a sign of aye. Aye. All those opposed, hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. And thank you, MPA leaders. Thank y'all.
Yes.
Moving on to items to consider. Number 3, consider approval of February 18, 2026 regular scheduled meeting minutes. If there are no changes, we'll open it up for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we approve the February 18th, 2026 regular scheduled meeting minutes.
Hearing a first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. We'll now move on to number 4, consider approval to change regular scheduled meeting date of Wednesday, March 18th, 2026 to Thursday, March 19th, 2026. We'll open it for discussion or a motion. Hearing no discussion, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move for us to approve the change to regular scheduled meeting date of Wednesday, March the 18th, 2026 to Thursday, March 19th, 2026.
Hearing a first, do I hear a second?
Yeah, and then the training.
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
You need to
All those-
you need to qualify that motion.
No, I'm sorry. There will be a work session prior to that meeting on the newly scheduled meeting date.
Okay.
Starting at 5.
Gotcha. That doesn't change the motion any. All right, okay, good deal. All right.
I
Nope.
would just move.
And so that motion has been taken. All those in favor show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. With that, we'll move on to number 5, consider approval authorizing Mayor Johnson to sign a contract amendment with Zulu Marine Services Incorporated in the amount of $107,380 for replacement of the culvert crossing and construction of the stormwater outfall system at the Howard Coffin Park Bank Stabilization Project. Director Albertson.
Good evening.
evening.
Like you said, this item is related to the Howard Coffin Bank Stabilization Project in the ditch that runs east-west through Howard Coffin Park, kind of right behind the admin building. As you probably remember, we got some funding ultimately from the Georgia Power Bonneville Foundation through the Georgia Conservancy to us to install a living shoreline along that ditch. from that water treatment plant all the way out to Highway 17 to try to help prevent erosion and scour along those ditch banks. The project was completely funded through the grant. We awarded a design build contract to Zulu Marine for the design, permitting, and construction of that living shoreline and those improvements. As part of that design and permitting process, we had several meetings on site with representatives from Georgia DNR regarding the permitting on that. Couple of things came up there. One, there is an existing 48-inch pipe that goes under that access road there, connecting the two ends of the ditch. DNR strongly urged us to replace that with a larger box culvert in there to help tidal flow, wildlife passage, and just general natural function of that ditch there. Also, the other thing was there was intended to be a berm along the south side of the ditch to keep tidal water from encroaching up in towards the parking lot of the walking track. As that berm was developed, we realized keeping the tidal water out was going to require a drainage system to let stormwater out as well. The stormwater that falls on the parking area was going to have to get out to the ditch. So we needed an inlet and pipe system to get that water out. So as part of their design build contract, Zulu Marine took on the design costs and any design associated with this. And they have prepared the construction documents needed to install both of those. But we have a contract amendment for them for the construction of both of those, the box culvert and the drainage system there. That is in the amount of, what is it, 107,000? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. Yes, $107,380. Sorry about that. As I said so far, the entire contract to this point is paid through the Georgia Conservancy grant. We do not have any money, no match is required as part of that grant. So this amount, this 107,380, would be our only input to that job, and that's about 20% of the total project. So it's almost like a grant match in a traditional grant. So we're asking for approval to move forward with the installation of that box culvert and the design system or the drainage system. Zulu is ready to move ahead with those or with the project as soon as we get approval on those.
Comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Garrow, Aberson, Mr.
Yes,
Aberson.
ma'am.
Where would the funding, you probably said, where would the funding come from? I mean, I know.
This funding with this 107,380 would come from our SPLOST storm drainage.
Storm.
The project funding itself comes from Georgia Conservancy or through Georgia Conservancy, ultimately from the Georgia Power Bonneville Environmental Foundation. But this 107,380 would come from our SPLOST storm drainage.
Okay, thank you.
Additional comments or questions?
Once you get it approval, if approved tonight, how long would it take for this project to be completed?
This is probably a 6-week project.
Oh, okay.
It will move pretty quickly once we get out there and get to work, because one of the things they want to do is fall within the planting window. The part of this bank stabilization or this natural stabilization involves plant material there and establishing plant material. So we want to hit that planting window before it gets hot.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that you approve for Mayor Johnson to sign a contract amendment with Zulu Marine Services Incorporated in amount of $107,380 for replacement of the culvert crossing and construction of the stormwater outfall system at the Howard Coffin Park Bank Stabilization Project.
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you. Are still with us for one more.
Yes, sir.
Consider approval authorizing Mayor Johnson to sign a contract with SEC Site Work LLC in the amount of $574,473.90 for construction of the bank stabilization improvements at Palmetto Cemetery and T Street outfall.
Okay. This is a very similar project on the other side of town. As you know, there's a drainage ditch that runs down 341, runs under Ross Road there in Palmetto Cemetery. We're having some erosion problems there with high tides during the storms, high water levels. That pipe got blocked during one of the storms and caused the water to rise, but it's the erosion is eating into the shoulder of the road. We're down to only a couple of feet of shoulder left before we get into the pavement there. And then further to the south, next to Greenwood Cemetery along T Street is the T Street outfall. We're having erosion problems there. That banks of that outfall are eroding into the cemetery on the north side and then into T Street on the south side, and T Street being the only access to the Academy Creek wastewater plant. So we designed improvements to those, or bank stabilization improvements to those areas as part of a coastal incentive grant a couple of years ago. And we broke the bank stabilization part out of that coastal incentive grant and went and applied for One Georgia. It was hurricane resilience funding through the One Georgia program through DCA, and were awarded that funding. And then I believe the funding amount was in the neighborhood of $850,000 and was going to require about $150,000 match from us. The breakdown was 85%, 84% from the grant and 16% from the city. So with that in mind, we put the project out to bid. We've got 4 bids. Our lowest bid from SEC Site Work, $574,473.90. That number is slightly less than our grant amount. So in talking with DCA, we're basically just going to reduce the grant amount and reduce our corresponding match amount. We'll follow the same breakdown, 84% and 16% from us, but to make the project budget. So we are, if approved tonight, we're ready to move ahead. Well, let me say this, let me back up. The low bidder was SEC Site Work. We are familiar with their work. They're the contractor doing the Reynolds Street improvement projects and the drainage work on N Street there. We're pleased with their work. They're doing a good job. They've had to work through some unforeseen utilities and some unknown utilities out there. So they've come across some things that weren't necessarily their fault, but they've done a good job getting through those, and quality of their work we've been very pleased with. Mr. Eric Aldridge is here from SEC if you have any questions for him, but we're ready. If approved tonight, we will move ahead with executing our contract documents. And again, I think they're ready to move forward on this pretty quickly as well, because similar situation. We need to try to hit that planting window as best we can. And then again, our portion of this match, which based on this contract amount, our cash match would be $86,171, which would come from, again, splost storm drainage.
Thank you, Director. Questions or comments?
Apparently, Mr. Albertson, you're reading my mind, because I want to know what made you comfortable with SEC site and, their work, but you answered that question. pretty much, and you pretty much have answered all my questions for us. Where's the funding coming from? How long it's gonna take? I noticed Zulu, you noted on your, apparently it's must be a very large job for the amount that they quoted. Marines service,
Yes, ma'am.
that's almost double. But anyway, but thank you.
It is a longer area, a larger area over at Howard Coffin Park. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do have one more question. You mentioned about some work doing on Reynolds Street Cottages project
Yes,
over
ma'am.
there. What, the things that they located, identified I mean, I know it's no fault of theirs, but are those issues been resolved, or is it something that costing the city more money, or what exactly?
They have been resolved and what we're running into is underground utilities that were not shown on the project plans. And maybe nobody knew they were there. They were not, sometimes the engineer missed some things. Sometimes they couldn't have shown them because nobody knew they were there. And I don't know, you weren't here, but you may remember Mansfield. We ran into a ton of that on Mansfield. This is a very similar situation. I feel like we've worked through Norwich and Reynolds a little bit better. But the same situation, utilities that nobody was aware of that were there, not shown on any kind of maps or any kind of drawings. And so when they come up, you know, maybe a sewer line conflicts or a water line conflicts with a storm drainage line. So you have to relocate one or the other or both. So we're working through those as we go. So there have been some additional costs. I say that we build a contingency into our projects as well. So that gives us a little room to account for these things and to handle these kind of things without having to come back with every little item we come across. So the overall contract amount we have not exceeded. We're still within that, to answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
And so just one quick question and maybe a comment. They're in our stormwater our master plan for our stormwater and sewer that we're now getting a handle even on matters as such so that we can have the proper inventory when we do come into projects or things of this nature.
We're working, some of that's identified in our master plan. It's going to be kind of identified in our revision that we're working on to work a little closer with joint water and sewer to kind of map and understand what's there, coordinate on projects like this. I was talking with their engineer not long ago, and I think this project may have been a good one to have been more of a joint project going into it. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done, made improvements as we've gone through there. So this probably would have been a good one to create it like we did with L Street and Magnolia Park. But nonetheless, they've worked with us well to make the adjustments that we need and make the relocations and resolve the conflicts.
Because I know that area hadn't been anything done in that area for a while.
There's a lot of old utilities in there. There are some of them are still functional. Some of them haven't been functional in years. So a lot of big variety and a lot of old stuff.
Yeah.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve authorizing you, Mayor Johnson, to sign a contract with SEC Site Work LLC in the amount of $574,473.90 for construction of the bank stabilization improvements of Palmetto Cemetery and T Street outfall.
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor show by sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, Director Albertson.
Thank you.
With that, we'll move on to number 7, consider approval of repairs to Howard Coffin Park Aquatic Center Pool and Equipment Room in the amount of $23,808.40. Director Booker.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And I'm coming before you this afternoon just to tell you a little bit about what we need at Howard Coffin Park. So the very first thing is we need to replace our main air conditioning unit. And I'll tell you just a little bit about the air conditioning unit. We actually have 4 units at Howard
Oh.
Coffin Park.
Hold on, Director, let me stop you right there. I think we are on the pool.
The pool first? I'm
Yes,
so-
ma'am.
Forgive
No,
me.
it's all good.
I thought it was the other way around. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, all right. Then what I'll do is I'm going to come and I brought Nicole Fairfield here with me, my aquatics coordinator,
Yes, ma'am.
because I can tell you a little bit about the history and the purpose of what we need. So if you have any questions about any of the issues that's going on and some of the quotes and stuff, she's here to actually answer that because this is definitely her expertise. So the purpose that we're coming here to get some major pool and the equipment room repairs. And we're coming because we definitely want to be ready to go to open up our pool safely. But we do have some repairs that some of them were unforeseen and some of them it's just the wear and tear on the pool and stuff. So we want to be able to, when it's time for the pool to open, we don't want anything to hold off. So that's why we're trying to get on top of it now to be able to do this. So again, a little bit about the history of our pool, our equipment room. It's easy to tell you, but it's a lot better if you actually see it. And like I said, because of a lot of it, it's the pool, that's the pump room is over 22 years old. And all of the equipment that's in there, a lot of it is what's really what they put down at the beginning. So because of all of the work that has been done, the chlorine that's back there in the bag, the salt water that comes up when we have high tides, it's just a lot of things that, it's a lot of erosion and stuff that's really on the back, especially on our electrical panel. That's one of the things that I'm going to allow Nicole to talk about as well. And so, like I say, some of the things we've had them refurbished. Like last year we had one, but because and I'll tell a lot of people I use it kind of like the body. And your body's good when you get up in the morning, but then you may have an ache in your shoulder, and that ache in your shoulder will make something in your arm hurt. So our pool system is kind of like that. It's just like one part works, one part might not work, and the other part may work. So that's where we are. And that's the easiest way to explain it. And so, like I say, it's a lot of things that we need to replace. And this is not like upgrading, but it's just to replace so that we can actually have a functionable pool. So I'm going to let Nicole talk a little bit about some of the issues that we have. And if we have any questions that she can definitely answer them.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight. We have a few items that we need repaired, and we have our pump autofill valve in the back that is never been replaced. It's just old, like our bodies, and it looks really old. I think it's from 22 years ago, and it just stopped working. And that's one of the items on our list. We did not expect that to happen. It just went out, and that's one of the items. It just happens to be really expensive. It's got a nice shiny price tag on it. The other one is our pump motor, and this was recently repaired. It was actually replaced last year, but it was a rebuild. It was not a brand new one, and that unexpectedly failed on us, so it has to be replaced to have adequate circulation back. The Big System 5, I can explain what that is, but we need to replace that. We did not replace this because we thought it was working, and just like your computer updates, it's so old it won't do the update. So the man from Charleston actually drove down here, opened it up, read the piece inside, and he said, "Oh, this is older than I thought," and it just won't do its job because it needs to be updated, and we didn't know that. The ladders, we just have to replace the steps on the ladders. Very minor repair. but we need it done before our inspection. And our vacuum replacement, this is a robot vacuum. Historically, the lifeguards just drop it into the pool every night, and then it saves us on staff. So instead of, spending staff dollars with them manually doing it, you drop it in at night, it goes through the whole pool, it comes back. This is another one of the same where we went to buy the replacement pieces, and that model is so out of date. The replacement pieces that we picked are not for this model. So that's how old it is. So we just wanted to replace what we had. Do you guys have any questions?
Questions or comments from the commission?
Miss Fairfield,
Yes.
did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for all of it, because I was listening in the finance committee meeting, and all the hard work that you and the other guy's name have done.
Yes.
What's his name?
Ren?
Ren. My question is, how long with these new parts, replacement parts, how long do you expect their
To last?
to last?
Those are great questions. So each one individually has a different life expectancy. So I don't really know what the robot life expectancy is. I would assume that is the shortest just because it's technology. But, as long as we train the lifeguards every year, and we're always, they're never unattended. We always have a full-time staff member there making sure they're doing it right. It should last. We can get the quote on that, but I would say 5 to 10 years on that one. The autofill valve, I am pretty sure that is a 22-year-old valve, and it would last another 22 years. The pump motors have a 10-year life expectancy. So the one that was rebuilt, there's never a guarantee or a warranty on a rebuilt motor, but we weren't going to rebuild this time. We were just going to buy new. So we should look at a 10-year on that one. The Big System 5, this one that we have is from 2007. So you're looking about the same expectancy on that one. They're usually pretty good, for a good set of time before you need it again. And I do want to apologize. I left off our electrical wall on the original one. That one, I also believe, is 22 years old. And I'm hoping we get that or longer with better supplies when they repair it.
Now, I maybe I overlooked it or couldn't find it. Who's going to do the job? Because I noticed you all quoted the price for the parts, but I didn't see any price, unless I overlooked it, the price of the labor.
The labor is included in each part. So each of our items come from different vendors. So not one person is doing all of these jobs, and the labor is within these. So for example, the price is within those, but you have the labor and the parts together.
So if you see something from Duffield will actually bring it to us and actually set it up. So everything that's down there, the labor is already included. And you see the Pratt's motors, that's included the motor, the installation, and his labor.
Okay, well, that's good. Thank you. Good shopping, research.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. I move that we approve the repairs to Howard Coffin Park Aquatic Center Pool and Equipment Room in amount of $23,808.40.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second? Hearing the first and a second, all those in favor show by sign of aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. With that, we will move on to consider approval to purchase a new air conditioning unit at Howard Coffin Park from Green's HVAC Doctor in the amount of $24,780.34.
Yes. And I was saying, and as I was saying before, the unit here is it's the same unit since the renovation. So it is definitely 20 years old and older. We've had Green HVAC. We've had a lot of companies to come in, to be truthful, from when it was the city to the county, now it's back to the city. But the very last time that the owner of Green HVAC came out, and he actually ran some tests and stuff on our unit, and he was saying the best thing to do is have it replaced. And the main reason is because he did some testing and he did find that was acid in the system. And he said, once you see the acid in the system, we can continue to fix a little part here, a little part there, but it's gonna get really costly. So that's the suggestion, to get the very new unit. And when I say this is our main air conditioning unit, so that covers our gym and our multipurpose center. And this is our main income for Howard Coughlin Park, because we pretty much have rentals every weekend for about 12 months. So this is a really, really big one. And so we definitely need to get this fixed. And working along with Wren and some of the other HVAC companies, we've got 3 bids, and one coming from Green HVAC Doctors for $24,780.34. The other 2 came from Air Adjusters. One was just a regular 10-ton that's at $35,140. And the other bid from Green HVAC is just a higher system that's pretty much doing the same thing, but it's a little more digital. So that's why it costs more. But just working with the owner from Green HVAC, I'm very comfortable with him, and I know that he knows everything that's going on with the units and that will have to be done, and the time that he can get it done, which once, we get the monies, he can get in and get it done in a matter of about 2 weeks. And so, like I say, and Wren will be working with him for the completion of the project as well, because of course, HVAC is not my expertise either. And so that's what we're requesting, $24,780.34 for a new unit.
Thank you. Thank you, Director. Questions or comments?
Question. Director Booker, where would and I should have asked for number 7, the funds for these projects, these maintenance items be coming from? Do you know? Or?
So on the air conditioner or the pool?
Well, both of them. It doesn't matter. I should have asked the first time, but on the air conditioning, since we talk about the air conditioning, then you could tell me about where the funds come from now.
So, okay, the air conditioner, the Green HVAC will be getting all of the everything. And like I said, this is installation and everything. So I'm not really sure where he get all of his, he would get the.
No, where the funds would come from?
The funds,
From
oh.
SPLOST or from?
And Ms. McDuffie, correct, was this SPLOST? Yes, SPLOST. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for both, for also as
Both.
well as the pool?
Yes.
Okay.
The 48,000. Okay, yes, ma'am. And that will be a total together, $48,585.74.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion. Yeah, no, you're good.
When do you expect for them? I know you said this is important, or really for 7 and 8. When do you expect the installation to start? If we approve the air condition, we have already approved the things for the pool. So when do you expect things to start?
Is as soon as you all say yes. And then all we have to do is make a phone call. Green HVAC, they're ready to go with it. And matter of fact, the same thing with the other people. As soon as we just make a call and order it, and they'll be coming on, because
So-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
The air condition, they have it on hand, because I know when they Green vac, is it green vac?
Green HVAC.
HVAC.
Yes.
When they did the Ritz, some things were behind. They had to wait for a while to get the parts or the equipment.
And just a little bit, and I mean, I don't know if that was the whole case, but I know that like I said, I've been dealing with the actual owner, and I know in the last year or so, he's had a lot of turnover in workers, and some workers just end up just leaving and stuff. But he has a new crew now, and he just told me just as soon as I can let him know, then he'll go ahead and everything should be good to get on order.
Okay.
But once I do that, I can get a definite back for you all.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the purchase of the new air conditioning unit at Howard Coughlin Park from Green's HVAC Doctor in the amount of $24,780.34.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor show by sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
We'll finally move on to consider approval of contract with Ghost Coast Entertainment in the amount of $39,000 for July 4th fireworks. Director Hill.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening, Director.
So this is the contract for the 4th of July fireworks. Ghost Coast Pyrotechnics did the fireworks last year. They were a new company to us last year. They are local. The previous company was based in Pennsylvania. So it was nice to have a local company. And because this is the semi-quincentennial of the country, city manager wanted to increase the show. So this proposal they have doubles the number of shells from what we had last year. And of course, the price goes up. The price didn't quite double, but the price is higher at $39,000. And that's above the city manager's signing limit. So we need the approval of the commission for her to sign the contract. And just for comparison, the county's fireworks this year, which was in the packet, is $75,000. Jekyll Island is doing theirs at $35,000. So we're kind of in the middle of the three.
Perfect. Questions or comments from the commission?
I do. Mr. Hill, did you say they did it last year?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So to get more bang, or can you describe what we're gonna actually get? What, I mean, like.
Yeah, if you look on the, what is it?
Got a printout.
Page 10.
Horrific.
Okay. It's gonna last about 25 minutes. Thank you. So
And even at our show last year, which was a little bit shorter, we started having people leave like 3/4 of the way through, I guess, to beat traffic, but I don't know why. They missed the best part.
Okay.
Any additional questions or comments?
I'm good. I was just gonna say, thank you to DDA for the 4th of July events that you do. I know sometimes people aren't as pleased, but just to let them know that this is one of those things too that we also don't have to do as a city, right? To have fireworks, because they have those other two options. They can go to Jekyll or St. Simon's. So that they know this will be a 24 to 26-minute show. You won't get 30 minutes or 45 minutes. This is what you're gonna get at this price.
That's right.
And it costs, okay?
Yes. And there will be live music. We haven't determined the band yet, but we will have a band as we usually do. We'll have the kids' games and the free watermelon slices.
Wonderful. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the contract with Ghost Coast Entertainment in the amount of $39,000 for July 4th fireworks.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, Director Hill.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. Pastor Campbell, who do you have with you this evening? Okay. Can you come? I just want to get your name. You made it all the way to the end. And you made it all the way to the end with your dad, and you're young, and you should be applauded for making it all the way to the end. You didn't even go outside, get a Coke, fake like you was going across the street. You stuck it out. And so give us your name.
My name is Dejanique Campbell.
Thank you, Dejanique. We appreciate you for being with us. We hope this ain't the last time we see you, okay? All right.
So I'm currently a student at the College of Coastal Georgia. I'm graduating in May. And so for this semester, I'm taking a leadership class for interdisciplinary studies is my major. And I have to go to different meetings around the community. So the last one I went to was the Board of Education meeting. And so I have to choose another meeting to document and talk about the it's called the 6 thinking caps of interdisciplinary studies. So I have to incorporate it inside of everything I've heard of tonight and make a like proposal or presentation or something.
That's it. Well, put us in the column of good meeting when you turn all that in. No, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Ms. Campbell, can you tell us a couple of those 6?
Oh, you know she a teacher. She about to quiz you. Look at you out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Pop quiz time.
Put her on the spot.
Yeah, you could tell her you get back with her, you know.
That'll be a side conversation.
Okay, so each hat is a different color, and each hat wants you to think about the different things you can like take outside of the meeting. So like the red hat is like emotional wise. So how did you feel during the meeting? What did the others feel talking about the problems in the community and stuff like that?
Okay.
There you go.
So
Well, we're proud of you. Thank you for
So I
being
can
here.
figure out
Thank you.
something.
And thank you, Pastor. With that, we'll open it for a motion to adjourn. Oh, no, my executive session, adjourn for executive session.
I
For the
do,
reason-
I need a point of privilege for executive session for the purpose of litigation. It will be quick.
Litigation. We'll open it for a motion.
Motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor, say by a sign of aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned to executive session for the reason of litigation. We are back from executive session. No action was taken. We will now open it for a motion to adjourn. Hearing a first, I will be the second. We need one person to walk into this room to adjourn. There's the one person. We have a first and a second. All those in favor, show by sign of aye. Aye. All opposed, hearing none. We are adjourned.